Of COVID-19 in Knott County, and the person who tested positive is an employee of Appalachian Wireless.
The primary election is still more than 2.5 months away, but the COVID-19 situation could still have some big-time changes for the way that you cast your ballots.
Sunshine continues for the next few days, but soggy weather returns for your Easter Sunday. I'll have those details right now at 4:30.
The first case of COVID-19 was announced earlier this afternoon in Knott County, and we learned it is a store employee for Appalachian Wireless in Hindman. The worker was a 39-year-old woman. Officials say if you went to that store between March 24th and April 3rd, you need to be monitoring yourself for symptoms. Scott Lockard with the Kentucky River District Health Department says the people this woman came in contact with are considered low risk, but they should still be cautious.
Low risk is incidental contact, and so just like meeting someone in the grocery store or coming in this case, paying your bill at Appalachian Wireless. You're in there for 10 minutes, you're in and out, you don't have prolonged contact with the individual. We consider that low risk for exposure.
In a statement from Appalachian Wireless, officials said, quote, Appalachian Wireless has closed the Hindman store temporarily for thorough cleaning per CDC guidelines. The employee is feeling relatively well and is self-quarantining at home. There are now more than 1,300 cases of COVID-19 across the state, with around 95 counties now reporting at least one. At least 73 people have died. We just learned Rowan County, of course that's where Moorhead is, Rowan County has confirmed its first case. Now we will hear from Governor Beshear in less than 30 minutes. Harlan Independent Schools delivered meals today to its students. The school district combines breakfast and lunch into one delivery. We talked with the superintendent about why these deliveries are so important.
It's a cost saver for the family, which is great. And so if you've got families that are either struggling with no work possibility, then they rely on this. You know, the term is food insecure, and so we've got a high percentage of kids that are identified as food insecure in our area, and so it's really important that we're able to provide that consistent, you know, staple of food and nutrition for them.
WYMT's Dakota Makers will have more on this tonight at 11. There could be even more changes coming to the way people vote in the upcoming primary election now on June 23rd. The COVID-19 pandemic had state officials moving the primary to 1 month later, but they're also considering other changes, and the governor wants a mail-in method considered. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to the Secretary of State today about the proposed changes.
Ultimately, what you saw was a significant plummeting in election turnout.
Kentucky has been here before in 1918 during the Spanish flu, which was also an election year.
What they did is they just went on with their normal election. And you had the health department closing polling sites, shutting down rallies.
Both the Secretary of State and Governor are considering changes for this year. Already the May primary has been pushed back to June 23rd, and both are considering procedural changes for that day.
Voting by mail is something, I had a meeting on it today with my staff. It's something that I believe for the primary, we have to not only be looking very seriously at, but we got to be moving forward with the plans for it.
But where I'm leaning right now is to expand the absentee voting process and permit that to take place by mail or in person, and having extra days of early voting on site.
Adams says they want to avoid problems like those seen in Wisconsin, where some waited in long lines, sometimes as long as 6 hours to cast their ballots.
So what we need to do is relieve that pressure on our poll workers, relieve that pressure on one day for the election to occur, try to space that out over time.
Adams says that about 2% of people return their ballots by mail now, but because of COVID-19 and the strain on the psyche of most people, he says that could go up to as high as 50% now. He says he will recommend changes to the governor sometime in the next 2 weeks. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Secretary Adams says a bill on the governor's desk right now would allow the governor, upon recommendation by the Secretary of State, to make executive orders to change the time, place, or manner for holding an election. There will be no first pitch today at Whitaker Bank Ballpark in Lexington since the minor league baseball season is on hold due to the coronavirus. Instead of greeting fans of the ballpark, Lexington Legends mascot Big L brought a slice of opening day fun out to fans in 5 central Kentucky neighborhoods. Legends Director of Marketing Ann Mapson says this is their way of showing that baseball is here even when you cannot hear the crack of the bat.
There are so many members of the community that are doing amazing things right now, and we just want to be a part of it in whatever way we can. So this is how we plan to do that, and we're super excited for it.
Currently, Major League Baseball is flirting with the idea of beginning their season in late spring or early summer without fans, but no word on the minor leagues. If you want to sport a mask with the iconic Mother Goose house on it, you can order one from the Goose Inn gift shop in Hazard. One of the artists was making masks for nursing home and hospitals, and Goose Inn manager Sherry Spradlin asked if she could make ones with a goose on them. She found printable material and printed fabric with a picture of the goose on it, but the idea all came from one photo. The masks are $10, and to order you can call 606-435-2079 or just message the Goose Inn Facebook page. For the first time in its more than 50-year existence, Pantry Shelf in Hazard will close for a day. The first day will be on Easter Sunday. However, owners say it will likely close each Sunday moving forward until this pandemic passes. Just months ago, Kentucky State Police went to the aid of former State Trooper Lauren Holliday. He died in a crash last fall. Now his son is thanking them again for all they've done. WYMT's Madison Pergram has more on his act of kindness.
Chicken tenders and cheeseburgers. Those delicious items were on the menu when 11-year-old Bennett Holliday delivered meals to Kentucky State Police. My dad was a state trooper, and he sadly passed away in a car wreck in September. So I've known post-13 since probably before I was born. People he knows all too well. His father worked alongside many of them. They were, oh, hi, Bennett.
You know, we love the fact that we can keep in touch with him, we can watch him grow up, and that he wanted to do something for us.
And Bennett knows the way to their heart. They go crazy for food. Every time my dad someone would tell him, hey, you want to go for food? Yeah, I'll go. For Captain Jennifer Sainlin and the rest of Post 13, it means more than just the food.
He suffered a great loss with his father passing away, but he still thinks of others.
A connection going far beyond the uniform. I wanted to give back because they risk their lives for us every day, and they never get days off. They don't get quarantined. With one thing always in the back of his mind. It would have made my dad proud, and that's what I wanted to do. And proud he would be. In Perry County, Madison Pergram, WYMT Mountain News.
Who would be very proud. Kentucky State Police troopers say that it was a great unexpected treat and they greatly appreciated it.
Well, we saw that sunshine finally return today, seeing those beautiful blue skies, and it's a little bit on the cooler side after that cold front moved through last night and brought us some strong to severe storms. We'll go ahead and take you up to a few of those cameras looking outside the front porch here at WYMT, just those beautiful blue skies, and looking over into Stonecrest, plenty of sunshine looking over into parts of Prestonsburg, few high clouds here and there, and we could see a little bit more heading into tonight. Temperatures into the upper 50s to lower 60s, so it's still pretty comfortable out there, especially in the sunshine. Feeling a lot warmer, but those wind speeds making it feel a little bit on the cooler side. We're seeing those wind speeds still pretty breezy, anywhere from about 10 to 15 miles per hour, close to 20 miles per hour up towards Lexington. And that freeze watch, you can see, well, it's for all of Eastern Kentucky. We're not really getting a good view of it right there, but all of Eastern Kentucky is now in this freeze watch that actually goes until 10 a.m. on your Saturday. That graphic didn't really save there, but low to mid 30s tonight, stray shower. And yes, we could even be looking at a few flurries in those higher elevations. We'll talk more about this weekend's forecast coming up in a little bit.
All right, thank you, Paige. There is a new model out today that shows fewer Americans will die of coronavirus because of increased social distancing. Nationally, there are now nearly 16,000 deaths and 450,000 reported cases of COVID-19. A widely cited model has now projected about 21,000 fewer deaths in the United States. But Dr. Anthony Fauci from the National Institutes of Health warns this is not the time for Americans to ease off on social distancing. Members of the Senate say a deal is unlikely to be reached by the end of the week on additional funding for the Paycheck Protection Program, which is a lifeline for small businesses trying to navigate the pandemic. Congressional Democrats are demanding additional funding for hospitals and state and local governments, as well as fixes to the small business lending program.
Do not block emergency aid you do not even oppose just because you want something more.
It is clear that in hard-to-serve, underserved communities, they don't have the same access.
As lawmakers continue negotiations, the Federal Reserve announced it would provide up to $2.3 trillion in loans for businesses and state and local governments. Meanwhile, a bleak report on weekly unemployment numbers. Another 6.6 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week, and that follows a record 6.9 million who filed the previous week, bringing the total number of jobs lost in 3 weeks to a staggering 16.8 million. Prior to the coronavirus outbreak, about 200,000 claims were processed each week. Coming up on Mountain News at 4:30 across the nation, the federal government is funding COVID testing sites. We'll take you to one of those pop-up clinics.
And we're going to continue to see those cooler temperatures, especially the next few nights. That sunshine continues. The soggy weather returns by your Easter. I'll have those details coming up in a little bit.